I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, where we bring you your top stories making headlines in Israel and surrounds. And as always, we are brought to you by Lay of the Land. And I just want to say thank you to all of those who have been sending in messages. Yes, I'm still battling my eye infections and a slight case of the hiccups. But somebody told me these look pretty cool. So maybe I should keep them. Who knows? But you didn't come here to hear me talk fashion. You came for your headlines. So let's get into it. And we begin with news that Foreign Minister Yair Lapid has tested positive for COVID-19. Now, Israel's numbers are going up at quite a rate. At the moment, we are in about 2% morbidity, about 32,000 new cases recorded in the last 24 or so hours. However, our Regional Cooperation Minister, Esawi Frej, says that he thinks, and this is him addressing Ynet or Yediot Ahronot as it's known here in Israel, which is one of our daily newspapers, that it is predicted that between 2 to 4 million Israelis will become infected with the current Omicron variant, and he believes that we'll be headed towards herd immunity. I haven't heard the term herd immunity discussed for quite a while, but given Israel's rising numbers, the IDF have cancelled activities or exercises for their reservists. It was also reported earlier today that the World Health Organization believes that half of Europe will also become infected by the Omicron strain of COVID-19. In other news, the Palestinian Authority have summoned the Dutch representative or ambassador in objection to news that the Dutch will be withdrawing funds or sponsorship from the Union of Agricultural Work Committee. Now, the reason for this, as we reported last week, is as follows. This NGO is one of the 6 NGOs that has been designated by Israel to be a terror organization or have links to the PFLP, which support terror. Now, the PFLP, which is the Palestinian Front for the Liberation of Palestine, is recognized by the European Union as a terror organization. On further investigation, it was found that at least 34 members of staff belonging to the Union of Agricultural Works were active with the PFLP, and at least 2 were responsible for carrying out or planning the terror attack that killed Rina Schneub in 2019. In other news, some more positive news, Israel has designated $500,000 to help with sanitary and health requirements for Afghan refugees. Our Foreign Minister Yair Lapid has given the authority for or the approval for a donation of $500,000, which is the first official donation that has been made on behalf of the government of Israel. Now, the funds will go to Afghan refugees who fled to nearby Tajikistan following the withdrawal of Allied forces in August last year. The funds will be transferred and distributed with the help of the UN Agency for Refugees. Now, as I said earlier, this is the first official donation that Israel is making in an official capacity or through the government. But we have sent aid before with the phenomenal organization known as Israel Aid that help and assist at humanitarian disasters wherever they may occur around the world. And our final story takes us to the sea, and you really cannot make this up. In fact, if it hadn't been reported by one of the most reputable journalists in Israel, Khaled Abu Toameh, I would have thought that this is an early April Fool's joke. But it's not, and we have been there before. So what am I talking about, you ask? Well, let me tell you. According to the Izzadin al-Qassam, which is the military wing of Hamas, speaking to Al-Quds, which is a Hamas publication, this time on video, it has been reported that apparently Israel is training killer dolphins. Yes, in this report, which was complete with showing the device that these killer dolphins are alleged to have strapped to their bodies, I don't know what would you call it, a school or a unit or a squadron or platoon of killer dolphins are responsible for the killing of several Izzedine al-Qassam naval commandos during the operation Guardians of the Wall, or Mifta Shomer Chomot, which took place in May last year. There were elements within the Al-Qassam that tried to attack Israeli naval vessels or to try and launch projectiles from their own naval vessels. But apparently these killer dolphins took them out. Well, I don't know about you, but I think that if some dolphins can assassinate your naval commandos, you've got something to really, really worry about. But this is not the first time that Israel has been accused of using marine life to attack people. We have been accused of using our Mossad sharks to attack tourists. Where they get this, I have no idea. And also by the Iranians of using our technology to capture the rainfall that is destined for Iran. No, I'm not making this stuff up. It is actually reported. But I don't know. I think I'm just going to be quiet about that platoon of tunneling hedgehogs that could quite take out a Hamas tunnel. All those aerial budgies that support the IAF. I digress, but should you spot a killer dolphin off the coast of Gaza, please give Hamas a warning. Those are your top stories making headlines today, but don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. We have a wonderful story sent to us by Yad Vashem, Israel's National Holocaust Memorial and Museum. The story is about how young American teenagers today are twinning either with Holocaust survivors or those who perished in the Holocaust before they had the opportunity to have a bar or bat mitzvah. It's really, really moving. Give it a read. That's also on our Facebook page. And if you are viewing this on our Facebook page, please give us a like or a follow or join our community. And don't forget to share our content. We are also on YouTube. Our channel is The Israel Brief. Please help us out by clicking on the red subscribe button. You can also hit the little alarm bell and you'll be notified every time we post a brief. And of course, we're on Twitter where you can find us at layoftheland.online. I mean, Lay of the Land 5 rather. I think I must said Cat has got my tongue today. That's Lay of the Land 5. So with the Tuesday edition of the Israel Brief, I'm Rolene Marks, and please join me tomorrow for more of your top stories.